Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. I'm your host, Sam Adavi. Coming to you from the Heritage Days Super Cruise in Greenville, Pennsylvania, we are going to be showing you some of the town, the people, and the best of Bill's annual Super Cruise. Welcome to the Lokar Car Show. This is gonna be one awesome car.
And I said, it doesn't even run yet. And look at it now, it's amazing.
Hey Bill, how are you?
Good, Sam. How you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. Good to see you. What a
Same
cool
here.
town.
Yeah, thank you. It is nice.
I'm here with Bill Sumner, and he is the coordinator for the Heritage Days event. And how long have you been doing this event?
This would have been the 13th year, Sam.
And every year it keeps growing, doesn't it?
Absolutely. First year I started out, I had 113 cars, and we've had upwards of 1,000 cars here before. Last year it rained. It rained hard, and we still had 500 cars in here.
That's because they're true enthusiasts. Being that it's 13 years old, you guys got a lot of youth that has grown up watching this show.
Absolutely, yes. They've been coming here for a long time.
Now you got cars that come from neighboring states as well.
Yeah, we have cars from New York, Ohio, West Virginia.
You also brought yourself a personal Chevelle, correct?
Yes, I did.
I'd love to check it out. It looks gorgeous out. Now we're going to check out Bill's 66 Chevelle. What a beautiful car, restored perfectly. The interior, the exterior, this thing is gorgeous head to toe. Tell me about the car.
1966. I bought the car done. What you see was not done by me. I was able to purchase the car from a friend of mine in Greenville in this condition. We had to do a few things, a few touch-ups, some mechanical repairs, things like that, but not a whole lot.
Is this an original Chevelle or is it a clone?
This is a Chevelle Malibu, so it's not original SS. It would be considered a tribute car or a clone, you know.
Tell us about the engine.
Well, it's got a 468 big block in there. This is a 30 over 454. It was dynoed at 544 horsepower. The engine had previously been in a few drag cars with a different set of heads and a wilder cam, and he ran it on alcohol, and it produced over 700 horsepower in that configuration. So they tuned it down a little bit for the street, but believe me, it's still plenty of motor for this car.
Plenty of motor. With that kind of internals for this drag race motor, it's always a good candidate down the road for some boost.
Oh yeah, you never know.
Mark, what a great place. I'm loving all the memorabilia on the wall.
Thank you.
Now, I'm here with Mark, and we are at his majestic grill here in Greenville, Pennsylvania. And you can tell Mark is a car buff just by all the memorabilia on the wall. He's got die-cast cars everywhere. I love the decorations you and your wife did.
We decided to remodel the place in 2009, and we've collected all this stuff over 40 years and just been storing it and paying storage, and decided, well, this will be the place we want to put it. More or less displaying everything and finding a niche and a place to put everything. So, and we did all the work ourselves with the help of a couple guys that used to work for me whenever I used to build homes for a living.
That's pretty cool.
So
now this place is 100 years old, and every year when the Heritage Days occur, you guys sell a whole ton of hot dogs, right?
That's our biggest day of the year, thanks to Bill Sumner's.
That's
for
cool.
Putting on the car show.
And Mark's got a personal 52 Chevy that's got a cool story behind it, and soon we'll be showing you that car. Man, what an awesome store. If you guys want to get yourself some good coffee when you come out to Heritage Days, make sure to check out these guys. Go get yourself something to drink, and we're going to be right back. Lokar Car Show, presented by Appalachian Backroads. Appalachian Backroads, Virginia is for lovers.
Original Parts Group Incorporated. Unbeatable quality, price, and in-stock selection for GM restoration and high-performance parts. NH Oil Undercoating Incorporated. NHOU, the official oil-based rust-proofing system. Lokar Performance Products. Quality, plain and simple.
It's time for the Lokar Lowdown with Jeffrey Walls.
For you guys that just bolted on a new throttle body onto your hot rod or muscle car, check out our website at lokar.com to find all the different bracketry and cables that we make to make everything work. We make sure that the geometry that you need for your throttle cable, kickdown cable, cruise control cables gives you everything in a smooth operation. We offer in a handful of different styles, whether it's our newer vintage series looks or even our standard high-tech braided stainless cables. We even have black braided stainless cabling. And all of our brackets are either stainless, billet aluminum, or black anodized and black powder coated, depending on the model. We fit all the major manufacturers, whether it's Edelbrock, Holley, Phytech, whatever it may be. New models for fuel injection, older standard throttle bodies that you might have on your old hot rod. We've got it all.
Welcome back. Now let's go check out some cool cars. I'm here with Jack. Not only is he a cool, talented car builder with awesome stories, but he is the owner of this 60 Bonneville that's one of 2 in the country and one of 3 if you count the prototype, right?
Right. Started out as a 60 Pontiac Bonneville 2-door hardtop that I bought out in Montana, trailered at home, and then I cut it down, put the El Camino roof in, and redid the car. The inside of where the latches are at is all handmade. We added the 3rd tail light. Originally they only had 2. One national Pontiac show that I went to in Dayton, Ohio, we had 2 Pontiac engineers that were retired came up to it. And they went around that car for an hour, kept looking at it, and the one finally said to the other one, he says, "I told you we should have built this instead of the El Camino." He says, "We love it." Had a lot of fun finding the parts and putting it together. So.
Well, you did a good job.
Thank
you
you.
can tell by the quality and the craftsmanship. He's had it 13,000 miles, 11 years. He takes it everywhere. You said that they built a prototype, Pontiac built 2, right? What year was that?
259 prototypes. They crushed one and one got away and restored.
One got away and restored, went through a couple of auctions, and
Right.
it still lives today.
Yes.
We got this beautiful 52 Chevy out here. This belongs to Mark, and this car has a cool story behind it. Tell us about the story, Mark.
I bought the car in 1961. I sold the car in 64 whenever I went to the service to a local resident. His name was Dale Fisher. And he had the car until 79. And then in 79, he put it up for sale, and I wasn't really in a position to buy it. So, but a good friend of mine wanted the car, and I knew it was going to go to a good home, and that's Jack Buck, who has that beautiful El Poncho behind me. And he did a 8-year frame-off rotisserie restoration, and the paint job and everything that you see is from his talent. I was fortunate enough in 2009, whenever he decided to sell the car, that I was able to get my original car back that I had in high school.
And I like to know, every year you guys have your annual Heritage Day show right out here in the city.
Absolutely.
What kind of return do you see? Do you see a lot of tourism from that?
We do, definitely. Bill brings a lot of cars in each and every year. It gives the people who are here an opportunity to see what Greenville has to offer, and oftentimes brings them back outside of the car show and lets them take advantage of the many opportunities we have here.
Because I've seen the pictures of what happens out there when you guys do throw your car shows. That's actually a privilege. That's cool.
It's very neat. My first opportunity to go to the car show was about 5 years ago. Thought it was going to be a few cars on the street and was blown away by the number of people that were here.
The number of people, the number of cars, and the quality of the cars was mind-blowing.
Yes.
Something you guys definitely want to try to put on your list of places to visit annually, because the car show gets so big and it's a beautiful town to visit. Now, there's a lot of car builders out there, and Pennsylvania definitely has some. Kurt being probably one of the best in town, from what I could tell in this facility here that he built himself. He does all the fab work himself, the metal work, the CNC machining work, the 3D printing, the programming. This is absolutely incredible. He calls it the first place fab shop. I call it the magic store.
I've loved cars since I was a little boy, and my father actually got me into it when I was young. He was into cars. He actually raced dragsters back in the day. I actually have a programming degree from Penn State from when I was in college, and that's what helped me translate into the CNC, environment. So I always had a machining interest, and that's when I got into the CNC machining, because that's mostly computer controlled and not as much physically controlled.
He actually built the garage with his father, so he's got blood, sweat, and tears in every aspect of this building, and everything that goes on in it and everything that leaves this building has that same pride and quality. Now let's check out the cars.
Okay.
When we rolled up to Kurt's place and we're looking at all these cars, the first one that grabbed my attention is this Camaro behind me. Not because of the beautiful bright yellow paint job, but because if you guys notice, it's been chopped. The roof is a little bit lower than the one standing next to it, and that is very impressive on this car.
A series of relays and PLC timers that when you remotely open the door, it drops the window, and then the door unlatches and opens the door.
And you've even incorporated an override just in case it fails.
Yes, in the trunk, if anything goes wrong, you can manually run the window down and then pop the door open.
And that's important. Whenever you're building a car, to put in fail-safes makes the car that much better. Now, what about under the hood? Did you do an engine swap, or did you keep the same engine?
No, this has a 548 cubic inch motor in it, turbo 400, carbureted, can-filled aluminum heads.
You've got a lot of extensive work on this. I know it's got an Art Morrison chassis underneath it with independent rear suspension. Very cool. And he's got the Elephant motor up under the hood that makes 1,000 horsepower. That's a rare engine, right?
Only 100 being made.
That's crazy. Only 100 being made is serious rare. Now tell me about this car. What have you done to it to make it different than all the other Barracudas?
The roll cage, of course, for additional support and strength. I designed and built a latch system that's automatic with the solenoid, so when you open the door, the roll bar actually comes out with the door, and then the door panel will cover that and hide that so it won't even be visible when it's all finished.
We got this 1970 Chevelle SS with a 396, and it's pretty much stock with a few upgrades. Tell us about the upgrades.
It has tubular A-arms in the front, four-wheel disc brakes, boxed rear control arms.
Now what about the engine itself? Is it original from 70, or did you have to go in and refresh it?
No, it's a 71 396, which is really a 402, even though they badged them as a 396.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't a full restoration. It was a paint job, and then the interior is pretty much all that I did.
Kurt, this is one awesome ride. This is a 66 Corvette. He's gonna make it to look like a 63 with the split window conversion in the back. He's also gonna put the 63 fenders in the front. It's also got an Art Morrison chassis underneath it. Tell me about the engine in this thing.
The engine's a 632 cubic inch Merlin block with Brodax heads. It has Hilborn electronic fuel injection, and it runs a Holley computer on the fuel injection. On the driver's side, we have the Holley EFI computer, and that will display the miles, speedometer, tachometer, all the gauges. And then on the passenger side, we have the Raspberry Pi computer with a 10-inch touchscreen, which will integrate into the rest of the electronics on the car. It will open the hood, you can open windows, you can open exhaust cutouts, and control some of the LED lighting with that.
He's building this for himself. So it's nice to have something that you can be so proud of, and nice to have something that you can go out and showcase your work and explain to people what you're actually capable of. And to see that he is building all of this right here in the back of his house in his own personal garage is the coolest part of all of it.
I'd like to thank my customers for supporting me, and I'd like to thank God for giving me the opportunity to do this.
And we'd like to thank you for allowing us to come in, interrupt your business, and see some of the cool things that you're doing out here, Kurt. Very impressive.
Thank you.
What a beautiful hot rod. 348 stroked out to a 409, awesome color. We're rocking a Lokar throttle cable along with the Lokar shifter. Stay tuned for more of the Lokar Car Show series.
Lokar Car Show, presented by Appalachian Backroads. Spearhead Trails, get out and explore. H&M Saw, the saw that cuts straight. Brothers Truck Parts, #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck parts. Stage 8, the world's best locking fasteners. The Heritage Days Super Cruise is now in its 13th year, taking place each July as part of the Greenville Heritage Days Festival. Bill Sumner's has rallied as many as 700 cars along Main Street, as thousands of spectators fill the streets to view these historic treasures. Classic cars of every description will line up to show off their wheels. DJs entertain spectators along with epic prizes and a 50-50 raffle. It was a hard decision, but here are the top 3 best of Heritage Days. Introducing Paul Ulam, 1969 Pontiac GTO, James Beard in his 1968 Mercury Cougar, and Jim and Diana's 1936 Ford 3-window coupe.
I always wanted a 4-speed car when I was a kid, and I was, when I bought it, I was like 22 years old. I just got married. I bought it off my brother back in like 1979. He bought it from a guy who worked at Lordstown, Austintown, Ohio is where he bought it at. It needed restored. It was rusty. It was in fair to good shape, but it needed new quarter panels and it needed some work done onto it. It needed redone. Me and my son redid it again about 7 or 8 years ago. It's got a stock 400, 350 horse engine. I had the motor rebuilt before we redid the bodywork on it. Then we stripped it all down to bare metal and redid the whole car again. It took 6 years to do it. It was a lot of time. Well, it's good. We bonded and we've still been working on cars ever since then, staying together and working on cars. And he's 30, 31, 32 years old now. Yeah, he knows what I know about stuff now. He learned a lot. He's good at body work. I'm good at mechanical work, but he's getting better than me at mechanical work now.
The dream actually started clear back when I was in last year of high school, and I was standing out in front of the high school one morning, and I saw this black 68 Cougar go by. It was black primer and setting real low, and the car just looked so mean and nasty, and I thought someday I want to get one of those. Well, we did a lot of customizing touches to it. We've changed the door handles on it to a flush mount door handle, shaved the drip rails off of it. The mirrors on it are 1970 Cyclone mirrors. There's custom trunk and stuff and everything in it. The interior and stuff's been done over. Under the hood's been cleaned up. Everything's been cleaned up. All the wiring tucked away and all the holes and stuff filled in. And of course the custom paint. The hood scoop on it I think is a 69 Mustang hood scoop. It's a 302. It's supposed to have a mild cam in it. I bought the motor. It was already a short block whenever I bought it. So it'll move along pretty nice. Stuff you don't see around your home, go someplace else. See a lot of nice cars here. I've met a lot of tremendous nice people here since we've been here this morning and all. It's really a fun show.
Well, I waited 27 years to get this car. It was up around Cleveland, and we finally got it. And then I had it for another 20 years, and we built some race cars, drag cars and stuff. We have another hot rod, and then we decided this was going to be her car. So we just started building it about 3 years ago.
Yeah, a lot of people like it.
But she picked a color. The color is a 1953 Cadillac color. She did the body work. She painted the car. I did all the upholstery work. We built the whole car from frame to the finished thing, her and I. But the motor is a 1960 motor, and it's a 348 Chevy, which we stroked to a 434 cubic inch tri-power. It's got the 3 carburetors on it. And I think we got about 200 miles on it so far. That's it.
I built it to cruise. I just love riding in hot rods. I mean, that's just my thing, and that's what I wanted.
I want to thank Bill Sumners for inviting me out here to Greenville and checking out this historical town. A lot of cool things to see. I want to thank Mark and Jack for their awesome stories about their cars and showing me Majestic Grill. Their hospitality was wonderful. And I want to thank Kurt for showing me his facility and showing me the talent and all the tools that he has that he uses every day to build these cars. Greenville, Pennsylvania is definitely a town you want to come check out, especially when Heritage Days is going on. It's a show for the family, and it's absolutely huge. It's going to be on its 14th year. Make sure to come out to Greenville and check out Heritage Days.
That wraps it up here at the Best of the Heritage Days Super Cruise. I hope you enjoyed it and include this show in your roster. Stay tuned for next week's episode of the Lokar Car Show, where we will be heading to Braselton, Georgia, and introduce you to a private Porsche collection and some more cool cars.